F&M Bank pregame show wrapping up here. Stay tuned for the starting lineups and the play-by-play of Hoppers Baseball coming up on Hoppers Radio. Tiger Field, it is time for Hoptown Hoppers Baseball. Hello, everyone. So glad to have you with us on this Friday. Todd Hamilton welcoming you into another edition of Hoppers Baseball. Well, after a couple of tough nights on the road, the Hoppers are back home tonight to start a three-game homestand, and hopefully it's going to be a little better than what the last two nights have been. The Hoppers have lost 4 in a row and 3 and 7 in their last 10. They're number 4 in the South Division at 8 and 10. They take on the front-running Franklin Duelers at 12 and 6. They are number 1 in the South. It is the third meeting of the year between these teams and the first here in Hopkinsville. In the 2 games they've played over at South Warren High School in Bowling Green, Franklin's won 8-5 and the Hoppers won 12-2. So hopefully it'll be a good night for the Hoppers and they can get back on the winning ways. We'll have more pregame stats and stories, starting lineups and more as we continue in a moment on News Radio WHOP and WHOPAM.com. Hoppers Baseball proudly brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Join the Riken Elastomers team today with starting pay at $17.50 and an excellent benefit package. Call 270-475-2150 extension 214 to learn more. Franklin at 12-6, the top team in the South. Kyle Scheck-Snyder's ball club has won 2 in a row, and they've won 6 of their last 10 coming in. Jackson Norris, the DH, will start things off tonight for the Duelers. He'll be followed by Jackson Musrock at shortstop. Sam Slaughter plays center field and hits third tonight for the Duelers, with Jay Curtis catching and hitting fourth. Jonathan Evans, the right fielder, batting number 5. Nate Lay, LAI, at first base, hitting number 6. It is Rashad Robinson in left field batting 7th. Mark Castle at third base hitting 8th. Matt Jenkinson batting 9th and playing second base. And Joel Martinez 3-0 with a 2.81 ERA on the bump tonight for Franklin. For Gary Vaught's Hoppers, who've lost 4 in a row, and 3-7 they are in their last 10 games. The Hoppers at 8-10 are 4th in the South Division. Rin Tachioka, the third leading hitter in the Ohio Valley League at .379, will lead things off tonight. The league's top hitter right now is our own shortstop, J-Rod Joshua Rodriguez, hitting number 2. Drew Donaldson at second base bats third tonight, with Fred Fernandez, the DH, in the cleanup spot. Ron Brown at first base bats number 5. Jacob Dupes at third base hits number 6. Batting 7th, Hunter Hayden in left field. Will Spear will catch and hit 8th, and Anthony Zarlingo bats 9th and plays center field. And David Ernst 0-0 with a 9.53 earned run average on the hill tonight for the Hoptown Hoppers. Our game time weather is brought to you by Solly Office Supplies, located at 805 South Main Street in downtown Hopkinsville. For all your office supplies, office furniture, and more, call Solly Office Supplies, 270-886-9315. Sunny and 87. At least it's not as steamy as it's been a few nights up here on this deck already. Winds are out of the south at 7 miles an hour. This will be the 14th all-time meeting between the Hoppers and the Duelers. The Duelers have only been around a couple of years. And, of course, we all lost 2020 due to COVID. 7-6 is the all-time series, with the Hoppers leading that. Well, let's quickly, while we have a little bit of time here before the start of the game, let's run through the Ohio Valley League standings in the North Division. Henderson at 15-3 has a 5-game lead on Du Bois County, who's 10-8. Madisonville's 9-9. They are 6 games out. Muhlenberg County 7-9, 7 games out. Owensboro in the 5th spot, 9 games out at 6-12. Louisville in the basement at 5-12, and they are 9.5 out. In the South, Franklin at 12-6, as we mentioned. They have a 1-game lead on Full Count Rhythm. The Fulton Railroaders third at 9-8, 2.5 out. Hoppers are 4 out at 8-10 on the year, and Paducah 5-13. They are 7 games out. Last night in the league, Full Count Rhythm lost to Du Bois County 6-5. Madisonville and Owensboro was canceled. It was Franklin beating Paducah 7-6. Fulton over the Hoppers 12-9, and Muhlenberg County beat Louisville 10-8. Muhlenberg County is playing at Louisville tonight. Henderson visiting Du Bois County. Franklin is here, of course, to play the Hoppers. It's Owensboro at Madisonville, and Full Count Rhythm and Paducah. Tomorrow we go to Bowling Green Ballpark for a big doubleheader, Service One Credit Union doubleheader. The 3:30 game, it's Franklin and Owensboro. We'll play Full Count Rhythm at 7. Starting lineups and the coaches' meetings at home plate going on as we speak. We'll be back with the play-by-play story coming up as you listen to Hoppers Baseball on News Radio WHOP and WHOPAM.com. Our title sponsor is Chick-fil-A. national
Once
anthem
again,
before
Mr.
baseball
Kyle
tonight.
Rader.
The
Happy
Hoppers
Kyle,
take on
as
the
we know him on
Franklin
KDZ.
Duelers. And David Ernst
And
will
for
be
our
on the
first
mound
pitch
tonight
this
for
evening,
the
folks.
Hoppers. We'll have our
Very special
ceremonial
guest
first
coming
pitch
out.
beforehand, though. We can tell
Throwing
you
out our
Ernst
first
is
pitch
out of
for
Dayton, Ohio,
before our Hoppers game tonight.
Wilmington College. And
Put your
here
hands
are
together
some
for
pitch
Mr.
numbers
Colton Howell.
on this campaign.
Colton Howell throwing out our first pitch this evening.
9.53 earned run average. This will be his 6th appearance and first start of the year. He does have 1 save. Has pitched in 5 2/3 innings. 4 hits, 5 runs, all earned, 11 walks, 4 strikeouts. Has given up a home run, and teams are hitting at 211.
Right down the middle. Colton Howell, ladies and gentlemen. Great job.
Bruce, he did a nice job there.
Great job. Great job. I'm proud.
Well, that's Bruce Smiley, who's up here with me running the television side of things on Hoppers TV. That's his grandson that threw out the first pitch tonight. Good job done by all there. All right, the Hoppers here against the Franklin Duelers, and we're getting set for baseball coming up. Hunter Hayden in left, Anthony Zarlingo in center, Ren Tachioka in right, Jacob Dupes, Joshua Rodriguez, Drew Donaldson, Ron Brown third to first, and Will Spear, the battery mate for Ernst. Hopper pitching staff a 6.78 ERA. Teams are hitting at 290 against the Hoppers this year, and the Hopper pitching staff has given up 12 home runs. So our opening pitch is coming up, and it's brought to you by Gary Keaton, Christian County, Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance. Visit Gary and all the crew today at 2405 Fort Campbell Boulevard in Hopkinsville. Saw a Facebook post from my agent in that office, Austin Calvert, today, and somebody was commenting what a nice job he did for them, and I said, yeah, ask him to impersonate Mike Keith for you, the voice of the Tennessee Titans. He does that one pretty good, just saying. And I know he handles my personal stuff, and we're certainly grateful for Austin. It'll be Jackson Norris, Jackson Musrock, and Sam Slaughter to bat in the first inning for the Franklin Duelers. Hoppers will be in Bowling Green tomorrow night to play Full Count Rhythm. That'll be a 7 o'clock or thereabouts first pitch, with our F&M Bank pregame show from Bowling Green Ballpark at 6:40. The first game at 3:30 has Franklin taking on Owensboro. And then the Hoppers are back home Sunday night for a 6 o'clock game against those pesky Fulton Railroaders. And boy, did the Hoppers have a tough time of it last night down in Fulton. They were up 4-1 going to the bottom of the third before Fulton scored 4 times in the third and then 4 times in the fifth. And each team scored 3 times in the seventh. The Hoppers got 2 runs in the ninth, but it wasn't enough, as it was a 12-9 victory for the Fulton Railroaders. All right, the Franklin Duelers are set to come to the plate. And their designated hitter, Jackson Norris, out of Rome, Georgia, and the University of Montevallo set to lead things off for them. He's a left-handed batter, hitting at .387 with a home run and 12 runs batted in. 6:35 is our first pitch. It's popped up on the infield. Jacob Dupes at third, battling the wind a little bit, but he's got it for the first out of the inning. So 1 pitch and 1 out here in the first, as we're back at a normal starting time. Those 7:30 starters, and I understand you got to do those things for heat. But, boy, a little tough on everybody, broadcasters, players, everybody. Jackson Musrock out of Knoxville, Tennessee, plays at the University of Memphis, hitting at .266 with a home run and 11 batted in. Ernst, his first pitch is ball 1 to him. 1 ball and no strikes. 1 out, nobody on for the Duelers in the top of the first inning. Fastball lined, 2 bounces to second. It'll be fielded by Drew Donaldson, and 2 up and 2 down as Musrock is retired on a ground ball to the second baseman, Drew Donaldson. Sam Slaughter, the hitter now. Slaughter was used last night as a pinch hitter, I assume. He had 1 run scored and walked 3 times in the ball game, so no official at bats for Sam. .360 hitter on the year with a home run and 14 runs batted in for him. He's another left-handed batter. And the first pitch by Ernst, fastball, is a called strike to Sam Slaughter. Sam out of Smyrna, Tennessee, plays in nearby Nashville at Belmont. Team that'll join Murray State in the Missouri Valley next year They're both going from the Ohio Valley Conference. Foul ball out of play, and the count is strike two. We must do greetings and salutations when we get a chance. Understand our buddy Mark Salmons went to visit with a plastic surgeon today. Mark, you may be, at all we know, you may be somewhere hiding in this ballpark, but I don't think so. But hope the news turned out good for you today. Here's a ground ball to the right side. Donaldson backhands, throws to Ronnie Brown, not in time. And that'll be an infield hit for Sam Slaughter. Donaldson had to range to his right about 10 steps to get it. He couldn't get to it, and it will go down as an infield hit for the Franklin Duelers. 2 outs in the inning. And the catcher, Jay Curtis, is up now for the Franklin Duelers. Curtis hitting at 167, no homers and 4 runs batted in for the right-handed hitting catcher. Ernst's first pitch is in the dirt. Spear has trouble finding it. A wild pitch will move Slaughter along to second base. One ball and no strikes to Curtis, and he whacks one in the air to center field. Backs Zarlingo up about 8 or 9 steps. It's over his head, and the Duelers are on the board here in the first inning as Slaughter comes around from second. It's a run-scoring double for the catcher, Jay Curtis. He tagged that ball well to center and got his 5th run batted in of the year, did Jay Curtis. And Jonathan Evans, the right fielder, now hitting. .257 on the year, 2 homers and 3 runs batted in. Kyle Schecksnyder kind of shuffling the deck, left, right, almost military style with his lineup tonight. Big, tall youngster at the plate is Evans. And a curve from Ernst is in for a strike. By the way, Rick Erickson calling the balls and strikes tonight. John Higdon and the legend Donald Duck Gilmore umpiring on the bases. Mr. Gilmore at first and Higdon the third base umpire. 1 strike with 2 outs and a run in. The pitch on the way, and they'll ask if he went around, and Rick Erickson says yes, and the count is 0-2 to the batter, Jonathan Evans. Evans out of Starkville, Mississippi, and plays at Southern University in Baton Rouge. I've called a game from that baseball facility. Don't know if it's changed since 2002. It wasn't a whole lot in those days, as I recall. The 0-2 foul back, and the count stays 0-2. I think we actually called the game outside, kind of like what we do up here on the perch on the deck. Oh, and before I forget on the greetings and salutations, hey, Melanie, love you. We'll talk to you later on tonight, we hope. 0-2 the count. The pitch by Ernst. Way outside, ball 1. The count 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Jonathan Evans, the right fielder for the Franklin Duelers tonight. He did not play in the game last night. Pitch in the dirt. They say he went around. Rick Erickson says, nope, you didn't hold the bat up in time. And that's a swinging strike for strike 3, and that will end the inning for Franklin here in the first. 1 run on a couple of hits, no errors, and a runner left. We've played a half inning of baseball on the Holiday Inn and Suites Convention Center scoreboard. The Franklin Duelers won, the Hoptown Hoppers coming to bat.
just need a little something for a birthday gift.
Right-hand batter. We'll try to find out a little more about him as we go along. Ernst's first pitch is a strike on the inside corner, and the count is 0-1. One strike to Nate Lai. L-A-I, but it's pronounced like Lie, L-I-E. Breaking ball outside, 1-1. Lai was 0 for 2 in the game last night against the Paducah Chiefs, won 7-6 by the Duelers. They're now 2-0 on the year in one-run games as that pitch misses for a ball, and the count now 2-1. 2 balls and 1 strike. Nobody out. The pause in the pitch. Strike called. Good pitch by Ernst. Fastball right at the knees, and the count evens at 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out. The wind in the pitch. Breaking ball. Strike 3 called. Ernst with his second consecutive strikeout as Lai retired for the first out. And here is Rashad Robinson.
Nominating the left fielder number 7, Rashad Robinson.
Robinson out of the University of Memphis. He's a native of Mobile, Alabama. It's a little bit of a surprise that he got out of there with a great baseball program in years past that South Alabama has had. Right-hand batter is Robinson. And the first pitch from Ernst is a called strike. David Ernst on the bump for the Hoppers. Big, tall youngster at 6'7", the tallest player on this team. Here's a 0-1 hit in the air to right center. Zarlingo and Tachioka. Wren will have it in right center for the second out. 2 quickly down. Mark Castle, the third baseman, will step up for the Franklin Duelers. He's out of St. John's, Florida, and Young Harris College down in Georgia. It's where a former Hopper, Dixon Kraft, played collegiately for a period of time after going to Wren Lake. .210 hitter on the year with a home run and 7 runs batted in. Ernst ready with the first, and Castle pops it up. Third baseman Jacob Dupes has it in fair territory. And the Duelers, just like the Hoppers in the bottom of the first, go quietly here in the second. On the Holiday Inn and Suites Convention Center scoreboard, after an inning and a half, the score remains Franklin 1 and the Hoppers nothing. Fernandez, Ron Brown, and Jacob Dupes. Fernandez will start things off. Freddie out of Venezuela and Olney Central College, hitting at .306 with a home run and 13 runs batted in. He is kind of settled into the designated hitter role for the Hoppers. He was 0 for 5 last night down at Fulton and did not play on Wednesday night at Owensboro. Right-hand hitter, and here's Fernandez looping one into the air in the left center for a leadoff single. So Fernandez with the first Hopper hit. And here is the first baseman, Ron Brown, out of Houston, Texas. Just graduated from the University of Incarnate Word down in San Antonio. Told me before the game tonight when he came up to visit that he's headed to Texas Southern in the fall. .222 hitter, a couple of homers, and 9 batted in for Ron. I swear he reminds me of Cecil Fielder standing up there with that bat. First pitch swinging, foul ball, first base side and out of play, strike one. Brown was 1 for 4 in the ball game last night down at Fulton, and the one was big. He had a home run in that game and went 2 for 5 on Wednesday at Owensboro. Asked him where he hit that ball last night. He said, I hit it over the little monster. Swing and a miss. And the count now is 0-2 to Brown. He was going for the downs on that one. I said, not very far, is it? He said, no, sir, it's not. I always tell people I could take a pitching wedge and stand there and hit 10 golf balls over that fence, probably. Martinez's next pitch is a ball outside. It's 1-2 to Ron Brown. Joel Martinez, California native, out on the bump for the Franklin Duelers. Here's a check and a pitch, and Brown goes down swinging on strikes. Martinez with his second strikeout of the night. One down. Jacob Dupes will be the hitter. And here's another guy that has kind of settled into a spot at third base in Dupes out of Louisville and Hanover College, hitting at .258 with no home runs and 4 runs batted in. Dupes, right-hand batter, facing Martinez, takes a breaking ball, low and away, ball one. Dupes was 1 for 4 last night in the game at Fulton. And on Wednesday night as the third baseman, went 1 for 3 with a double and a run batted in. Next pitch is a strike to him, and the count evens 1-1 to Jacob Dupes, D-U-P-P-S, but it's pronounced Dupes, like oops, except it's got a D in front of it. And Dupes gets a hold to one, sends one into the gap to left center, and this ball is going to be long gone. Jacob Dupes with the 14th home run of the season for the Hoppers and his first to go with 2 RBI. That's the first home run Martinez has given up this year, and just the 10th by Franklin. And the Hoppers have taken the lead here at 2-1. Now Dupes goes yard, and Hoptown in front 2-1. Hunter Hayden comes to the plate now.
Now batting number 11, Hunter Hayden.
Hayden out of Kentucky Wesleyan and Goshen, Kentucky, hitting at an even .400 with 4 runs batted in on the year. First pitch to him is ball one. This is the 11th game that he has appeared in, and this is, according to the stats, his first start, but I don't think that's right. 1 ball and 1 strike as the next pitch misses. And he hits the ball hard in the air to left, but it will be caught out there by Robinson. So 2 gone here in the second. And the catcher, Will Spear, will come to the plate. Spear out of Indianapolis and the University of Indianapolis, hitting at .250 on the year with no home runs and 1 run batted in. Spear was 1 for 3 last night in the game at Fulton. And he takes the first pitch for ball one. 1 ball and no strikes to the Hopper catcher, Will Spear. Anthony Zarlingo on deck. Martinez ready with the next. Here's a fastball hit on the ground to the second baseman, Jenkinson, on the first. And the inning is over, but not before the Hoppers take the lead. 2 runs on the home run by Dupes, a couple of hits. No errors and nobody left. 2 innings played on Hoppers Radio and on the Holiday Inn and Suites Convention Center scoreboard. Your new score, Hoptown Hoppers 2 and the Franklin Duelers 1. Making his way to the third base coaching box. Great to visit with him as always, on and off air. We talked a little while off air before this game tonight. Matt Jenkinson will lead things off for the Franklin Duelers. He's out of Nashville, plays at Roane State Community College, hitting at .242, no homers and 7 runs batted in for the right-handed hitting second baseman, Jenkinson. And he hits the first pitch from David Ernst into the gap to left center, and that's a hit. That ball's going all the way to the wall. Around first in the second is Jenkinson with a leadoff double. That is the third hit that Ernst has allowed in this game.
For the Duelers, the DH,
as Norris comes to the plate now. Jenkinson with his 6th double of the year. Franklin now with 31 on the season. Norris popped out to the third baseman, Jacob Dupes, to start the ball game. Dupes' 2-run homer in the bottom of the second has given the Hoppers a 2-1 lead here. Curveball from Ernst inside, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Cubs and the Cardinals are in a big weekend series, I see. The 1-0 pitch by Dupes. Fastball low and outside. The count 2-0. Du Bois County in the bottom of the 5th in the OVL, leading Henderson 1-0. Top of the second, full count in Paducah, or make that the third full count in Paducah, are scoreless. Here's a foul ball, first base side. 2 balls and 1 strike to the batter, Jackson Norris. Top of the 5th in Louisville at Derby City Field. It's the Jockeys 2 and Middleburg County nothing. Madisonville and Owensboro are just underway. They're scoreless in the top of the 1st. Here's a pitch outside for a ball. And the count now 3-1. Fulton has the night off, by the way. Here it's 2-1 Hoppers as we play in the top of the 3rd. Franklin with the tying run at second base. David Ernst delivers, bouncing ball to the right side. That's going to be in the right field for a hit. On his way around third is Jenkinson. Tachioka's throw, a good one to the plate, but Jenkinson able to avoid the tag from Will Spear. And the Duelers have tied the game at 2. It'll be a single for Norris and an RBI. That'll be his 13th of the year. So 2-2 our score now as we play here in the third. As the Duelers, the number 1 team of the South, taking on the 4th team right now in that same division in the Hopper. Jackson Musrock has grounded to the second baseman in his only at bat. He's 0 for 1. Ernst out of a stretch. The tall right-hander ready. Off-speed pitch misses outside, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Now the 1-0 pitch, and here it is. Strike called, and the count evens at 1-1. Ernst came back with an off-speed pitch on the inside part of the plate to the right-handed hitter. 1 ball and 1 strike. Runner at second base is Norris. Jenkinson doubled earlier in the inning and scored on the hit by Norris. Franklin now with 4 hits in the game. Swing and a miss. Boy, did Musrock jump all over an off-speed pitch there. That was a nice breaking ball. And the count now 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out. Now the stretch by Ernst. Check of the runner at second base. Here's the pitch. Just outside. Deuces are wild at 2-2 with nobody out. Two balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out. Now the pause in the pitch. Fastball hit foul over toward the Hopper dugout. Hoppers are a little absent tonight with Nixon not being over there. I believe he's playing some baseball this weekend. State tournament for his group. Okay. 2-2 the count. Ernst ready with the next. Fastball hit in the air to right center. Long run for Tachioka. He won't get it. It's over his head and up against the fence. On his way around second to score is going to be Norris, and a double for Musrock, and Franklin leads 3-2. 12th RBI of the year for Musrock as Norris comes around to score. Sam Slaughter had an infield hit and scored his first time up. 3-2, Franklin leads it here in the third. Slaughter 1 for 1. First pitch swinging, he pops it up third base side. Dupes may be out of real estate over there, and he is. Foul ball out of place. Oh, he did able to get to it. Well, good job, Jacob. Behind the Hopper dugout, it looked like he had run out of real estate from what we could see. But that's okay. We'll take the out. One away for Jay Curtis, who doubled in a run in the first inning. You know, the sight line down the third baseline, if you get up by the Hopper dugout, from our angle up here on the perch, you can't see it very well. Same holds true on the first base side, more so. Curveball from Ernst is outside. Ball 1, says Rick Erickson. 1 ball, no strikes. Musrock at second. 2 runs across in the inning. Franklin has hit 2 doubles and a single. And lead here 3-2. The pitch. Upstairs, ball 2. 2-0. Two balls, no strikes, 1 out. Now the pause in the pitch, and that one's looped in the air to right, and that's going to be a hit. Runner at third is Musrock. He's going to try to challenge Tachioka. The throw is cut off, and Franklin has put up 3 straight runs, and they lead here now 4-2. Curtis with his second RBI of the night as he singles to right. And Jonathan Evans becomes the sixth man to bat in the inning. For the moment, at least, things are quiet in the Hopper bullpen, but that may be subject to change here if Evans happens to get on. He struck out swinging to end the first. Ernst out of a stretch, the pitch. Big man shows bunt, but the ball is way outside on the pitch. Ball one. One ball, no strikes, one out. Now the pause in the pitch, and that's outside. 2 balls and no strikes. We'll check the big league scoreboard. We owe you a station identification break. We're getting a little behind. We'll try to get to that here. After 2, the LA Dodgers lead Atlanta 2-0 at Truist Park. Strike called, and the count 2-1. Reds have a late game at San Francisco tonight. Cubs and the Cardinals about to get underway in St. Louis at Busch Stadium. That may be the Apple TV game tonight. I think it is. 2-1 to the plate. Little roller up the line at first. Don Gilmore says in the first base umpiring spot that it's a foul ball, and the count evens at 2-2. New York Mets and Miami are 2-2 bottom of the 5th. Houston and the Yankees scoreless top of the 4th in New York. Boston leads the Cleveland Guardians 2-1 top 3. Tampa Bay 3, Pittsburgh nothing in interleague play in the top of the 4th in Tampa. Rangers and the Nationals are scoreless top 1. Here's a ball hit in the air to center on a 2-2 pitch. Zarlingo won't get it. It's by him and all the way to the fence in the deepest part of the yard. Curtis is being waved around third. Here comes the throw to the plate. Save. And another double for Franklin. And it's now a 5-2 ball game.
First baseman number 31, Nathaniel Lye.
4th RBI of the year for Evans. And the Duelers are up 5-2. Nate Lye at the plate. Called out on strikes to start the second inning. Oakland and Kansas City are scoreless top of the 1st in KC. Colorado, Minnesota a little later. Baltimore and the White Sox later. The Blue Jays and the Brewers are in warm-up mode as well. Ball 1. Seattle's at the LA Angels. Detroit's at Arizona in interleague play. And Philadelphia's at San Diego. Those are the late games tonight. And there, my friends, is your out-of-town scoreboard. Here's a 1-0 pitch, skied a mile high on the infield. Who wants it? Second baseman Donaldson starts in, then has to backpedal a little bit. And Lye is retired for finally the second out of the inning. And here's Rashad Robinson, who flied out to the right fielder Tachioka his first time. Robinson 0 for 1. Runner goes, pitches a strike, throw to third, safe, and a stolen base for Evans. Franklin now 40 out of 57 on the year in that department. Evans 7 of 8. That means he's a pretty good stolen base man if you were to break that down into percentages. Strike 1 pitch, strike 2 called. And the count now 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Franklin has scored 4 times in the inning, and they lead here 5-2. The pitch. Here's a ball lifted right field side. Tachioka will give it a look, but it'll be out of play. Over by the Franklin bullpen, and the count stays 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. The next pitch from David Ernst is low, and the count 1-2. Bit of a warm evening here, but not like it has been, brother. Wow. 1-2 to the plate. One bouncer. Backhanded by J-Rod at short. Red Star play time? No. Ball's in the dirt, and it gets away from Brown. Run will score to make it now 6-2. And Robinson will reach, and we'll see how it's officially scored. Mark Castle becomes the 9th man to bat in the inning. That'll be ruled an E6. Hopper's 39th error of the year. (6-2) Duelers here in the 3rd. Hopper's mired in a 4-game losing streak, and things ain't looking good for the homestanders right now, though it's early in the game. Pitch to the plate is in the dirt. Spear can't find it. Robinson will reach second easily on a wild pitch. One ball and no strikes with 2 outs in the inning. Now the 1-2, or 1-0 rather. That's a strike, and the count evens 1-1. There are 2 outs in the inning, is what I should have said. So I get to give myself an unsolicited critique. The 1-1 pitch in the dirt again, but Spear able to block it and keep it out in front of him. 2 balls and 1 strike. I may have to send an SOS down for a sweet tea in a minute. Need a little pick-me-up. 2-1, the count to the batter, Castle. Ernst working from the stretch. And the pitch. Fastball low, ball 3, 3-1. Three balls, 1 strike. Kick and a pitch. Swing and a ground ball to third. It is gobbled up by Dupes to throw to first in time for the out. So Franklin bats around here in the 2nd inning. They score 5 runs on 5 base hits, 1 Hopper error, and 1 runner left. Franklin is stranded 2 on the Holiday Inn and Suite scoreboard. At the end of 2.5, your score is Franklin 6 and the Hoppers 2. The Z-Man, Anthony Zarlingo, switch hitter, will lead off for the Hoppers here in the 3rd, hitting at .256 with no home runs and 3 runs batted in. But his ball club's on the short end right now of a 6-2 score. Sarlingo out of Southwest Tennessee Community College in Olive Branch, Mississippi, takes a called strike. And that's how the third gets started. Franklin batted around 5 times on 5 hits in the inning. Zarlingo takes Martinez fastball low, and the count evens 1 ball and 1 strike. Rather comfortable evening here at the park. Not too bad, actually. The 1-1 strike called with a good slider on the outside corner. And the count now 1-2. Martinez ready with the next. And Zarlingo takes outside. The count evens 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two and 2 the count. Now the pitch. And Zarlingo tries to slice one the other way. Foul. And the count stays 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes. Tim Crow coaching at third. Caden Zacharias coaching for Gary Vaught at first base. Fastball is outside. And the string is out at 3-2 to Zarlingo. Remember, if you are listening tonight, let us know you are on Twitter at capital TODDO, capital HAM, as Zarlingo fouls off another. We've had people listening to us out in the wheat fields this week, among other places. That'd be pretty cool to be sitting out in the wheat field and listening to a baseball broadcast. Here's a ball hit into left center, and that's a leadoff single for Zarlingo. That is the 3rd hit of the night for the Hoppers. Zarlingo made the wide turn at first and started towards second, and is back there. Anthony Smith's dad, Mike, sent us a little note earlier. Appreciate your kind words. It was good to meet you earlier this week. Here's Ren Tachioka. Fly to the left fielder, Robinson, his first time up. Franklin 6 and the Hoppers 2. The Duelers scoring 5 times and batting around in the top of this 3rd inning. Fastball strike to Tachioka. And the count 0-1. No balls and a strike. The pitch. Whacked foul wide of first. Solid hit, but it's a foul ball. 0-2 to Tachioka. No balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out. Fastball is up to Wren, and the count 1-2 as Martinez missed high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now the next pitch is a ball. Two and 2 the count to Wren. The Japanese right fielder. And he pops one up third base side on a 2-2. And just caught on the foul line by the left fielder Robinson for the first out. Second time that Wren's flied to left. And here is Joshua Rodriguez. J-Rod struck out his first time.
Joshua Rodriguez.
Such a nice young man. We enjoyed having him and Ron Brown up here on the perch before the game. They wanted to come see what life is like up here. So welcome to the perch on the deck. And J-Rod fouls the first pitch off for a strike. And the count 0-1 to him. 6-2, Franklin leads it as the Hoppers bat here in the home third. Here's a foul ball back, and it's 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to J-Rod. Out of Ranger College in Spring, Texas. Here's a bouncing ball by the mound, charging. Third baseman makes a nice play there, as it was well done by Castle to retire Rodriguez for the second out. Moving to second on the play is Zarlingo. And the hitter now will be Donaldson, who fly to the right fielder Evans to end the first inning.
Second baseman with his team, Drew Donaldson.
Donaldson at the plate, right-hand batter. 2 outs and Zarlingo at second. Hoppers trail 6-2. Ball 1 is outside. Kyle Schecksnyder talked about this before the game with his team, and we saw it in the top of this inning. They just find ways to get hits and gets runs across, and that's why they're leading the South Division right now. The ball 1 pitch from Martinez, low and away, 2-0. 2 balls and no strikes. Now the stretch by Martinez, the 2-0. Outside, 3-0. Well, I see Mr. Gillette, but his running mate is not down there tonight. Mr. Giles. Frankie of the long sleeve shirt and his fedora these days in the hot, sunny days. The 3-0 pitch. Strike called and the count 3-1. That's a hitter's count there, and Donaldson taking all the way. The 3-1 pitch. That's ball 4, and the Hoppers have 2 on with 2 outs. First walk by Martinez, and here's Fred Fernandez, who got the Hoppers' first hit with a single to left and was aboard when Dupes hit the 2-run homer to give the Hoppers a short-lived 2-1 lead in the second inning. And yeah, that lead was very short-lived for a half inning. And Franklin scoring 5 times in the top of the third to take the 6-2 advantage. Swing and a miss on the first one to Fernandez, strike 1. Attaboy, Mr. Higgins. Antifreeze also does keep you from overheating. That is correct. Pitches a ball, 1-1. But you got to have a little water with your antifreeze in the summertime, I would think. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 to the plate, and it's just outside. 2 balls and a strike. Next pitch just missed. Martinez thought he had a strike, but not to be, and the count 3-1. Now 3-1, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. So Martinez gives up back-to-back walks. Zarlingo goes to third, Donaldson to second, Fernandez at first. And here's Ron Brown with a little rap version of Herb Alpert's Rise, or at least the guitar lick in the middle of it. Martinez will get a visit from Curtis on the mound before we roll along here. And don't forget to stop by and see our title sponsor, Chick-fil-A on Fort Campbell Boulevard. I did this afternoon, had a Sunjoy, very refreshing drink. Could use one right now. Or a peach shake. Or some eats, or all the above. Here's a ball caught by the first baseman. A soft liner by Brown, and he lines out to the first baseman, Nate Lye, to end the inning. Well, the Hoppers leave the bases loaded. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 3 left after a couple of walks. At the end of 3 innings on the Holiday Inn and Suites scoreboard, it's Franklin 6 and the Hoppers 2. Yes, sir. Well, we'll start where we did in the last inning, as Jenkinson started things off with a double. You know, when I think of the Macarena, I can't help but think of my old and dear friend Grover Jones, who is no longer with us, over in Bowling Green. First pitch from Ernst, breaking ball, missing ball 1. One night we were at a Mexican restaurant in Bowling Green and had a mariachi band there, and Grover had them play the Macarena mariachi style. And he got in there and sang with them. How about that? He said, come on, you need to sing too. I said, I ain't singing no Macarena, buddy. Swing and a miss on a good curve, 1-1. Grover got up there and goes, hey, Macarena. That's all he could do. He couldn't sing the lyrics. He would just do, hey, Macarena. There you go. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the pitch. And that's a ball lifted in the air to left and should be an easy play, and it is for Hunter Hayden. 1 out. Jenkinson retired on the fly ball to the left fielder. Back to the top of the order, and Norris, who had a single and scored a run and drove in a run in the last inning, has popped to third. He's 1 for 2. 6-2 Franklin as we play here in the top of the 4th inning at Tiger Field. Back at our normal start time. Boy, it feels different than it has last couple of games we've had. Of course, have been 7:30 starts due to the heat. Breaking ball, ball 1 is inside. 1 ball and no strikes. They're talking like that Sunday might be a rain day, or at least the forecast kind of pointed that way at one point. Here's a ball hit to the right side slowly. Brown will flip to the pitcher, and Ernst is late. Play is backed up, though, by Spear. He'll throw down to J-Rod at short. They got the runner hung up, and now Ernst has the ball. Ernst will take it, and he flips it to the second baseman, Donaldson. And it's back to Ron Brown, and we got ourselves a major lottery number here for a tag out. 3 to 2 to 6 to 1 to 4 to 3. 3, 2, 6, 1, 4, 3. Boy, that fills up a whole space on a scorecard when you've got a player batting. Here is Jackson Musrock. Doubled in a run and scored in the 3rd and has grounded out. Here's a ball hit to the right side. That's going to flare in for a hit. Falls in front of Tachioka near the foul line. So a 2-out single for Musrock as he bloops one to right. He's now 2 for 3. And here is Sam Slaughter. Infield hit to second and scored in the first. Fouled out in the third. And 50% chance of rain on Sunday. Now they're saying 94 tomorrow for the high over at Bowling Green Ballpark. 86 on Sunday with that 50-50 rain. Monday's going to be a nice day. Tuesday, 84 and 59 when we're back home. 91 and 67 next Thursday, the early forecast with a 40% chance of rain. I'm meteorologist Todd Hamilton. There you go. Fastball is outside, ball one. I don't compile the forecast. I just read what they've got. So you can't blame me for the weather, friends. 1-0 the count to Slaughter. Here's a check and a pitch. And that's upstairs. Ball two, 2-0. Musrock at first with 2 outs. Reached on a little bloop single to right a moment ago. Going the opposite way against David Ernst. Ernst ready with the next. Fastball, strike called, and the count 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike, and 2 outs. Bob Lobertini, wow. Mr. Higgins, that's a good one you brought up there, buddy. 3-1. You know, when I was a young kid, speaking of Bob Lobertini, I first thought I wanted to be a weatherman. Now, we'll give you a little Bob Lobertini history lesson, but first Ernst is ready with the pitch, and that one's whacked in the air to right, and Tachioka won't get this one as that ball is out of here. I mean, Slaughter hit one on a line, and it went out to right field. The Duelers put 2 more on the board, and the lead is now 8-2. Slaughter with his second home run and RBIs, number 15 and 16. For the Hoppers, that's the Baker's dozen home run, number 13 that they have given up this year.
Catch number 38, Jay Curtis.
Jay Curtis, the batter now. He singled and doubled and has driven in 2. Yeah, Bob Lobertini, for some of you folks who don't know, now this was back in the day when what's now News Channel 5, WTVF, are the proper call letters, was known as WLAC. Okay? And when I was about 5 or 6 years old, as that's ball 1 to Curtis, I thought I wanted to be a weatherman. Breaking ball, strike 1-1. I used to think it was cool that Bob Lobertini had the dry erase stuff, and he would draw cold fronts and warm fronts and lows and highs. And I mean, that was really cool stuff to me, fascinating. Here's a 1-1. We'll finish the thought a little later. Chopper to short. J-Rod throws, doesn't get him. Throw is low, and Curtis is aboard. So the inning will continue for Franklin, as that is the second error of the night for the Hoppers. And they now have 40 on the year. And here is Evans, who doubled and scored in the third. And he also brought home a run, struck out in the first. So anyway, if you remember in the old days, the temperature and the barometric pressure and those things were done by these little round meters, okay? My mother made for me a temperature meter, a wind meter, relative humidity meter, ground ball to short. J-Rod will go to short, way to second. He'll retire Curtis, and the inning is over. But anyway, we'll finish the thought in the bottom of the inning. 2 runs for Franklin, and they do it on 2 hits, including the home run by Slaughter. 1 left. They've stranded 3 on the Holiday Inn and Suite scoreboard. We are in the middle of the 4th now. Your score is Franklin 8 and the Hoppers 2. The WLAC call letters stood for Life and Casualty Insurance that owned the television station until they sold it in the mid-70s. And the call letters became WTVF. And if you also remember, WSM Radio and Television was owned at one time by the National Life and Accident Insurance Company. And the call letters, as the pitch is swung on and missed by Jacob Dupes, who homered his last time up, strike one on a breaking ball. We serve millions. That's where the WSM call letters came from. Here's a ball lifted in the air to right on an 0-1 pitch. And backing up to make the catch is Jonathan Evans, and Dupes is retired for the first out. One out batter's Hayden, who is 0 for 1. But anyway, back to the weather instrument story. My mother took paper plates and made me, complete with pointers and all this business, and then would draw me weather maps, and I would impersonate Bob Lobertini. Now you remember, those of you who are old enough to remember WLAC television, here's a ball hit on the ground to short, and it's played by Musrock on to first base. Lai gets the out, 2 down. 2-out hitter will be Will Spear. If you remember, Bob Lobertini was also Captain Bob. When they would do cartoons in the afternoon, he would wear a captain's hat and everything. He was Captain Bob, and they do Popeye the Sailor Man and all the cartoons. And Bob Lobertini, you remember, left Nashville for a while and went to San Francisco, where he was a successful weatherman, and I believe I'm right on this. Pitches the ball low. He was at the CBS affiliate in San Francisco and then came back to Nashville and went back to work at Channel 5 for a while as the weatherman there, until he met a bit of a bad fate one night. Pitches low for a ball, 2-0. You remember in the mid-70s, out back of the Channel 5 studios, they used to do the weather outside. Well, let's just say Bob got a little too much libation in him doing the weather one night. 2-0 pitch, outside ball 3. And he was taken off the air a short time after that. And ironically, was replaced by a fellow who was at Channel 4 for many years in Nashville, Boyce Hawkins. Strike call, 3-1. Well, then Boyce met the same sort of fate. One night he'd had a little too much libation between newscasts, and he got fired. 3-1 pitch, low for ball 4, and Will Spear is on with a 2-out walk. Third walk allowed by Martinez. Here's Zarlingo, who had a single to left center his first time. Yeah, if you remember, for years, those two competed against each other. Bob Lobertini was on Channel 5, and Boyce Hawkins was on WSM Channel 4 in Nashville. And it was also, you know, on the sports side in Nashville television in that time, as Z takes a strike 0-1. You had 3 pretty good ones. You had Bob Bell on what was WSIX Channel 8 before they moved to Channel 2 and became WNGE. They were first bought by General Electric. Here's a liner to short. Zarlingo is out as Musrock catches it for the 3rd out. We will finish this story in the top of the 5th. Hoppers leave a base runner, and they have stranded 4, and through 4 on the Holiday Inn and Suites Convention Center scoreboard, your score remains the Hoppers 8, or I should say the Duelers 8 and the Hoppers 2. Mr. Ben Higgins pointed out, and I had forgotten about this. We were talking about Bob Lobertini, the former weatherman at Channel 5 in Nashville years ago. He had an exercise show in the morning. I had forgotten that. I don't remember that altogether, but I think that jogged my memory a little bit, Benny, when you mentioned that. Here's Lai, who has struck out and popped to the right fielder. Ernst's first pitch is low and away, ball one. He's gone all the way for the Hoppers as his team trails here 8-2. But I'd forgotten about the exercise show that Bob Lobertini did. But yeah, that was my early interest in broadcasting. Here's a drive, left field, foul. My goodness, did Lai get a hold of that one. That one may be up halfway up the hill toward the softball field, 1-1. That's about like Ron Brown's grand slam the first night he played here. That was tagged too. The 1-1 by Ernst. Curveball hit in the air to left, and it's going to fall in for a base hit. Now it's going to bounce over the head of Hayden. And into second base is Lai with a leadoff double. Looked like that was going to be just a routine play out there for Hunter, and it took a hop in front of him and then kicked on up for a two-base hit. Hitter now will be Robinson, who's flied to right, reached on an error by J-Rod 2 innings ago. Boy, it's nice to go down memory lane sometimes about some of these people. You know it? You know, we were talking about the great sportscasters in Nashville in the late 60s into the 70s. Didn't get to finish that thought. You had Bob Bell on WSIX. You had the great Paul Eels on Channel 4. And you had John Lashley / Hope Hines / John Lashley a second stint at Channel 5. I had a chance to meet the great Paul Eels when he was the football radio voice at the University of Arkansas. You remember he was at Vanderbilt for many years and then went to Arkansas. 2002, I had a chance to meet him when University of Louisiana played there. Pitches a strike 2-1. He was tragically killed in a car accident a couple of years later, was Paul Eels. One of the nicest people you would ever meet in our business. 2 balls and 1 strike. The kick, the pitch, swing and a bouncing ball toward short. J-Rod gobbles it up, throws to first in time, and Robinson is retired, but Lai will move to third on the play. 1 out, and the hitter now will be Mark Castle. And I think about another guy who was in Nashville for a while in radio and television sports at WSM, who later became the longtime football and basketball voice at the University of Georgia, Larry Munson. Munson got fired in Nashville. It's a great story. Here's a ball hit on the ground by J-Rod in the left field for a hit. Lai will score to make it a 10-2 ball game, and Castle aboard on an RBI single. That's his 8th of the year.
Second baseman of 14, Matt Jenkinson.
First pitch to Jenkinson is a ball. Yeah, the great Larry Munson story. They had a minor league baseball team called the Nashville Vols. Played at the old Selford L back in the 60s. Here's a foul ball, and it's 0-2. Munson's doing the game on WSM, Clear Channel 50,000 watt station, okay? He takes a commercial break, and he thinks he's off the air and says something to the effect of, "What a blank way to make a living." Needless to say, Munson got fired from WSM. Here's a breaking ball that misses. 1-2 the count to the batter, Jenkinson. That's when Paul Eels came along. Now, little sidebar story about that. I know a fellow who also applied for that job at WSM at that time. He was my mentor, Wes Strader. He almost left Western Kentucky in the late 60s to go to Vanderbilt to be their voice and to work on WSM radio and television, but turned it down. 2-2 to count to Jenkinson. Here it is, foul ball, and we do it again at 2-2. Franklin leads it here 10-2, or make it 9-2, I'm sorry, as we play here in the fifth. I added one run too many. Don't want to do that to us. Been a tough night. And again, Franklin's just done it very, businesslike, getting hits when they needed it. 2-2 the count. Here's a pitch by Ernst. Fly ball in the air to the left. Hayden should have a play on it. He does, and the inning is over. So in the inning for Franklin, 1 run on the home run, couple of hits, and 1 man left on base. They've stranded 4. Middle of the 5th. Oh, I'm sorry. We got 1 more batter. I'm sorry. We're back to the top of the order. 2 down, I should say. Had one of them lackadaisical moments. Oops. Sorry about that. Here goes a runner. Pitches a ball. Throw to second. Safe. Melanie, all I'll say about that is I know how you feel now. So you got Castle at second base. A 1-strike count, 2 outs in the inning. Here's a pitch. Bouncer foul back to the screen. Count is 0-2. 9-2. Franklin leading here in the 5th. Now we'll get it together. Got the glasses adjusted, helped some, but the old brain ain't working too good. 0-2 pitch by Ernst. Fly ball, center field. Zarlingo has a beat, makes the catch. Now the inning is over, and now we can say 1 run, 2 hits, no Hopper errors, 1 runner left, and Franklin stranded 4. Now to the middle of the 5th with a score on the Holiday Inn and Suites scoreboard. Franklin 9 and the Hoppers 2. It off. He's flying twice to left. 0 for 2. J-Rod to follow, and Drew Donaldson will hit third. Well, our resident television expert, Mr. Higgins, has come up with another question. He said, who was the guy that came from South Carolina that wore the plaid jackets in Nashville? I know him and know him well. My old buddy Charlie McAlexander, Charlie Mack. Strike called, and the count 0-1. Now, Charlie, some nights when he would do sportscast, in the summer especially, they're sitting behind a desk on television. You can't see from the waist down. Charlie would wear shorts. I'm serious. Charlie would wear shorts to do his telecast. Next pitch, a ball to Tachioka, and the count 2-1. And he hits one to center, and that's a hit for Wren. He's finally in the hit ledger. The Hoppers with their 4th hit.
Now batting for the Hoppers.
Here's J-Rod, who has struck out and grounded to third. Now, Charlie Mack, if you remember, when he left Nashville, he went to UK. He and Ralph Hacker were on the UK broadcast together for a time. Here's a ball by Rodriguez, hit in the left field, and Joshua has himself a base hit.
Single for Rodriguez.
He's now 1 for 3. Tachioka stops at second. J-Rod with the second hit in a row in the inning, and here's Donaldson, who's walked and flied to right.
Donaldson.
Here is Donaldson, 0 for 1 with a walk. Yeah, Charlie and Ralph didn't exactly jihad together real well. Swing and a miss, and the count 0-1. But yeah, I know both those guys, Charlie Mack and Ralph Hacker. I still hear from Ralph Hacker every now and then, who was the right-hand man to the great Kaywood Ledford. 9-2, Franklin leads here as the Hoppers bat in the home 5th. Pitch is in the dirt. Curtis does a nice job to dig it out. 1 ball and 1 strike. Yeah, Charlie used to wear some outrageously plaid sports coats on TV. And sometimes when you would see him at a Vanderbilt basketball or football game doing them on radio, he wore those same coats. Fastball high. If you remember, Charlie went back to Nashville for a while and did Middle Tennessee games for 3 or 4 years. And how I know that, when that job was open, I was a finalist against Charlie Mack. 2-1 pitch, low and away, 3-1. And to talk about Vanderbilt a little more in depth in the late 90s, when my buddy George Plaster, who has been on this microphone with us here at Hopper Games, left that job, George recommended me for the Vanderbilt job. 3-1 pitch, hit in the air to right center. And that ball's going to be in the gap. And Tachioka better hurry around third because he's got J-Rod in hot pursuit. And Rodriguez will get back to third. He's safe, but a run scores. It's now 9-3. Tachioka scores from first. Rodriguez at third. It's a 2-base hit for Drew Donaldson to right center field, and he has a run batted in also. 9-3 is our score in favor of Franklin. Fernandez to the plate here in the bottom of the 5th. Freddie has walked, singled, and scored back in the 2nd.
DH 14, Fred Fernandez.
I could get into a bunch of old broadcasting stories, but they would bore you to tears. But maybe we will again one night. You never know. George shows up, or my buddy Pop Jameson shows up. Pitch in the dirt, ball 1. Of course, you all have heard me talk of Bob Jameson, who was the former Nashville Sounds radio voice. That's right, Ben. Yes, as I said, Ralph and Charlie didn't exactly G-haul together real well in Lexington. And Mr. Hacker, having the clout that he had Charlie excused, as you eloquently put it. 2 balls and no strikes to Fred Fernandez. Now, George Plaster can tell you some stories about Charlie Mack. He was Charlie's color guy on radio for a while at Vandy. Swing and a miss, 2-1. Plaz will be up here one of these nights. We got to get Plaz here before the season's over. 2-1 pitch. Pop this way and out of play. Don't let it get to us, Bruce. Went behind us. That's a good thing. The youngsters will go running after that loose potato. 2-2 the count. Well, look at there. Brucey, you got a couple of grandfather Father Day cards. That's neat. Swing and a miss. And Fernandez is out. They'll throw down the first. A little bit of a low throw by Curtis, but he got him. K2-3, and finally the first out of the inning. And that is only the third strikeout tonight for Joel Martinez. And here's Ron Brown, who's lined to first and was strikeout victim number 2 back in the second inning of play. Now, Plaz can tell you some good stories now about Paul Eels and about Charlie Mack. Of course, he grew up in Nashville and followed all those guys in their careers when he was youngster and then on into radio for a while. Here's a ball popped up first base side, long run in foul ground, back behind the first base dugout, but I believe it will be, and it is, a foul ball, strike one. And Charlie was a heck of a play-by-play guy, Charlie Mack. Yes, he was. Very good play-by-play guy. He was one guy I listened to a lot when I was young and learning the craft, if you will. One strike pitch. Here's a foul ball back 0-2. Let's pause briefly, 10 seconds for station identification. This is Hoppers Radio.
On air and online, this is WHOP AM Hopkinsville, W237BV Hopkinsville, and WHOPAM.com. Hopkinsville's news, weather, and sports station.
Martinez 0-2 pitch to Ron Brown, tied a ball, and the count now is 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runners at second and third for the Hoppers, who trail 9-3 in the bottom of the 5th inning. That pitch is in the dirt by Martinez, and he may be starting to tire a little bit in this warm night. 2-2. See where Podrick Harrington leading the U.S. Senior Open. I think my life is finally getting back to normal in my new abode. 2-2 to Brown, lifted in the air to right and deep. He goes opposite field, and it is gone for a 3-run homer for Ron Brown. Boy, does that tell you how quick one swing of the bat can change this thing? Brown with 12 RBI and 3 home runs on the season. And it's now 9-6. That's the second home run given up by the Franklin pitchers, 11 altogether. And for Martinez, that's his second in one night. And speaking of home run hitters, here's Dupes, who had the other home run back in the second. And also has flied to right. Got time as Brown's bat was still in the field of play. 9-6 Franklin. Well, boy, I tell you what, this is service when you get the El Presidente of the OVL bringing it to you, boy. Nothing like a little sweet tea. That's good stuff. Let's just get the El Presidente on here for a minute. We can move all our junk around here, and we'll get Mr. John Bruce on for a minute. 2 balls and no strikes to Dupes. And here's a foul ball. It's 2-1.
Reminder to return those foul balls. The merchandise table will.
Who wrangled you to bring it up here?
2 of them get you.
I heard you on the radio asking
Oh,
for it.
you're a good man, Mr. President. I like it. 2-1 pitch, low and away, 3-1.
I probably should tell the rest of the story, but yes, they wrangled me at the bottom of the stairs.
They wrangled you at the bottom of the stairs. Said, bring the poor boy an iced tea. 3-1 pitches, low ball 4.
Beautiful night at the ballpark.
Hey, every night at the ballpark is beautiful. So where's your mystery tour taking you this week, John?
Oh, golly. Let's see. I'll have to look at my phone to tell you.
You have to look at your phone. Well, while you look at your phone, I think Franklin's had some activity in the bullpen, and I think they're making a call, and we're going to get a pitching change here. So you can look that up, and we'll talk about the new pitcher coming in here for the Franklin Duelers while you do that. I know you've had a magical mystery tour.
Absolutely. Well, I actually took Sunday. My children took me to see Top Gun.
Oh, and I'll have to ask you about that because I want to go see it. I hear it's very good.
Well, they had watched the movie oodle gobs of times over the years since I was actively flying when the first movie came out. And so it was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And so they were entertained by it, whether they wanted to be or not. I turned it up loud enough that you could hear it, 3 city blocks away every time at the beginning of the movie. The carrier launches, those are always fascinating. So they saw all that. So when it came out, they said, this is what we're going to do for Father's Day. And I said, okay. So I agreed. Off we went. And it was good. It has a lot of connectivity to the first movie.
Yeah.
So it's almost like if you haven't seen the first one, there's a lot of things you won't understand in the second.
So in other words, what you're saying, if you've not seen the first one, you need to watch it before you go see the second one.
That's correct.
Okay.
And since it's showing on 57 channels up and down the internet, the TV,
yeah,
you can watch it almost any time, even if it's not on demand.
There you go. Gage Kaufman is the new pitcher out of Lake Charles, Louisiana, and Bossier Parish Community College for Franklin. Let's tell you his numbers here right quick while John looks up where he's been this week to tell us the magical mystery tour. 7.50 ERA for Kaufman. No wins or losses. 6th appearance, all in relief. 6 innings, 8 hits, 5 runs, all earned with 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. Teams are hitting at .320 against him, and he's not given up a home run. He replaces Martinez, who gave up 2 home runs tonight. He had not given up any.
Wow. Well, I saw these Duelers at home.
Yeah.
Early in the week on Monday night there, and
so you've been to Bowling Green.
I have been to Bowling Green.
You've been to Bowling Green this week.
Been to Bowling Green this week. Actually, been to Bowling Green a couple different times for other reasons, but
right.
I'm becoming very familiar with the road. And I'm going back tomorrow. I'll see you guys again tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. We'll all be over there for the Service One Credit Union Classic.
And then
Again, you're better for the Hoppers.
I don't know where I have been negligent. Let's see, Wednesday night, Thursday night was last night, right?
Yes. Swinging a foul ball, strike 1 to the batter Hunter Hayden, who's 0 for 2.
So Thursday night I was in Muhlenberg County.
Okay.
And Wednesday night I was in Madisonville.
Mm-hmm.
And then went just to Friday night. So
yeah. So you took Monday and Tuesday off? No, Monday you went to Bowling Green.
Right. That's just Tuesday.
Okay. All right.
So, or I didn't record it. I'd have to think about it.
Swing and a miss. It's 0-2 to Hayden.
But this is, Owensboro had a little trouble with their bus here a week or so ago when they came here.
Right.
This is what their bus looks like tonight, parked in Madisonville's parking lot.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. We'll let Hayden hit this ball to center on a busted bat. And it's going to be caught, and they're going to get a double play. Sure are. How about that? Hayden flies to left for the second out, and then 7-3. Dupes is out for the third out. Franklin gets its 13th double play of the year. But the Hoppers score 4 times in the inning, thanks in part to the home run by Ron Brown. They do it on a total of 4 hits, no errors, and now nobody left on base. And we're through 5 innings on the Holiday Inn and Suites Convention Center scoreboard. 9-6 Franklin. So do tell what happened to the bus.
Well, they actually picked it up. It had been in the garage here in Hopkinsville from the time it broke down on the way here, literally in town.
That would have been Monday.
Okay. Then they picked it up this morning, drove to Owensboro, parked it in the parking lot. This afternoon they got on the bus. They drove to Madisonville. They're unloading off the bus in Madisonville, and the coach noticed that there's some smoke coming from the engine compartment. And then upon closer examination, it's not just smoke, it's actual flame.
Oh, goodness.
And as he told me, he said, this is about 5 minutes later. And the picture, I know it's a picture, folks, you can't see, but the front end is entirely engulfed, gone. And the interior, this is the interior picture. That's what the inside looks like now.
Whoa.
It's just gone. In like 5 minutes, the thing burned up.
Wow.
So that was some excitement for us tonight.
And I take it that game, did they play or are they?
They're playing.
Wow. Now, there was a game canceled last night.
Correct.
And I think it was those two teams last night, was it
was.
not? They had a little weather in Owensboro, or?
No.
Okay.
We have a procedural error that we're going to discuss at a meeting tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the story will come out after that. But, yes, Madisonville was supposed to go to Owensboro last night, and then tonight was the return trip. And we've done that several times in the schedule this year where you play back-to-back nights, and each of them is at home. That's an intentional thing, just to kind of make it a series.
Sure.
Instead of coming and playing 2 nights in a row, you swap the locations just for a little bit, but the teams are the same, playing night to night.
Jackson Musrock will be the batter against the new pitcher, Aaron Moss. 8th appearance, 7.30 ERA, no wins or losses on the year. Does have 1 save in 12 and the third innings pitched. And the pitch is a strike to Musrock in the count 0-1.
So Owensboro is, let's see, I think Madisonville's going to take them home tonight.
Well, that's nice.
And then tomorrow he'll work on it, he said.
Here's a ball fouled back in the count 0-2.
On getting to Owensboro.
Yeah.
I mean, from Owensboro to Bowling Green tomorrow, because they have the 3:30 game.
That's right.
And I thought, well, you don't have a lot of time to work on it tomorrow.
Yeah, I'd be scrambling tonight trying to find a bus.
I'm sure that's going on.
Here's a bouncing ball up the line at first. Fair ball. Ron Brown has it. 1 out. Musrock retired on a ground ball to the first baseman to start the 6th. Here's Slaughter, who had a 2-run homer in the 4th, has fouled out, reached on an infield hit, and scored in the 1st.
I realize I'm late to the party today, but what's the wet at first base? It looks like we got a wet area at first base. Is it wet?
That's probably where they put the water on the field before the game.
Okay.
And it hadn't dried out completely. But no, there has been no rain.
Okay.
Yeah, Bruce and I would have been scrambling off this deck if it'd been raining. Now.
Well, you have the umbrella up over here.
Well, it's a partial umbrella. Yeah, we can't have the other one because as a pitch is a ball, 2-0. The other one is like a missile. If the wind starts blowing, that thing takes off like a missile, boy. You better be ready to duck fast.
Oh. This looks like a sailboat now up here on the deck.
Yeah, doesn't it look good? Bruce did that all himself. Foul ball, 2-1. A little bit of ingenuity on Bruce's part. Got him some PVC pipe. And
he went for the functionality over beauty.
That's right.
But it works.
It works. That's all that matters, man. It works. Yes, sir. Moss's next pitch is a strike, and the count evens 2-2. 9-6, Franklin leads as we play here in the 6th inning.
We had another incident with a bus earlier, and the bus from Fulton was in a parking lot and got hit by a car.
Oh. Pitch is low.
Damaged the front end.
Yeah.
Kind of broke off some of the it's all plastic.
Right.
Well, I said, well, John, I'm en route. I've got self-tapping screws and masking tape and duct tape. And said, we'll fix it. And he did. They drove home.
Sam Slaughter walks. Well, that's using ingenuity. I mean, listen, over the years back when we used to do games on telephones, sometimes you were handed a telephone block and it wasn't connected. You had to figure out how to connect it, get your phone line working to get on the air. Been there, done that. I understand.
Well, Richard is a retired farmer. And if you've ever been around farmers, I grew up on a farm. When you've been around farmers, they know how to fix stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Well, one of our buddies down there, I'm sure Mr. Foles is very good at that.
Absolutely. Be amazed what they can do with a little adaptation.
That's right. Adapt and adjust. Strike one pitch from Moss. Fastball outside. Throw to first and a runner back. John Bruce, the president of the Ohio Valley League, joining us here on the perch on the deck, or at the perch on the deck. 9-6 Franklin leads it as we play here in the 6th. Curveball, strike called, and the count 1-2. And we want to invite everybody, whether you're a Hopper fan, full count, Franklin or Owensboro, come on over to Bowling Green tomorrow. We're going to have a lot of fun.
And if you're in Bowling Green and just don't have anything on your plate to do, come on out.
Absolutely.
First game's at 3:30. Second game approximately 7 o'clock.
Here's a pitch that's off the glove of Spear. It allows the runner Slaughter to go to second on a pass ball. And the count now 2-2.
At $10 will get you in all day long.
Do you happen to know if the Hot Rods will have their merchandise place open or if the OVL will have some merchandise for sale?
I do not know the answer to that. Not firm enough to tell you.
Okay. Just curious. As the pitch is lowered away a ball and the string is out 3-2 to Jay Curtis. Curtis hit into a force, or was a fielder's choice in part of a force play, has singled and doubled, driven in 2 and scored 1 run in this game.
Since we're going to have concessions, probably.
I would say. J-Rod at short plays this ground ball. Throw to first. They get an out there. Throw over to third is not in time by Brown. And Slaughter will take third. 2 outs in the inning. And the hitter now will be Jonathan Evans. He's had a fielder's choice. Doubled a run in and scored in the third and struck out. He's 1 for 3.
I know that around the league there's been an explosion of scoring.
Oh, what are you talking about?
The last week or so.
The bats are finally waking up, aren't they?
They are.
Swing and a miss, strike 1. Yeah, look at our score from the other night in Owensboro, 16-14.
Yeah, when you get scores that when you're heading to 20 runs or better, that's a lot of baseball runs.
You're not kidding. Well, we had a 12-9 game here Tuesday night with Muhlenberg County. Pitch fouled. It's 0-2. That took 4 hours to play. Whew. It was a late evening ride back to Murray, I promise you that. 0-2 the count. 2 outs in the inning.
Yeah, the goal now is to start a little later in the night and be the first one to finish.
Yeah. But we're back to the normal time tonight, at least at 6:30. Pitches the ball low, and then Sunday will be at 6. That means the weather is
better,
much more conducive. Yes.
Well, we've had, let's see, the other night we had a game started at 6:30, a couple at 6:30, a 7 o'clock, a 7:15, and a 7:30 start.
Here's a 1-2 lifted in the air, right center. Coming on is Tachioka, makes the sliding catch. And that will end the inning for Franklin. In the 6th, no runs, no hits, no errors, a walk and a man left. They've stranded 5. We're going to get John, if he will, to stay around with us for another half inning. We're going to take a break here, and on the Holiday Inn and Suite scoreboard, we are going to the bottom of the 6th with a score, Franklin 9 and the Hoppers 6. Franklin will face Spears, Arlingo, and Tachioka. Just got a tweet, and you can tweet me online at capital TODDO, capital HAM from Drew Donaldson's dad, Dave. They're coming down tomorrow. Going to be in Bowling Green, going to catch the game here Sunday and then go back to Louisville on Monday and watch the Hoppers. They're going to see 3 games this weekend.
Very good.
Will Spear has walked and grounded to second. 9-6 Franklin as we play in the home 6. Kaufman, the second pitcher of the night behind Joel Martinez. And the first pitch is ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Martinez, by the way, for Franklin, as that pitch is fouled, went 4 1/3 innings tonight. 7 hits, 6 runs, all earned. Walked 4 and struck out 3. Now, conversely, and we'll get to that for Ernst here in a second, 5 innings he pitched. So that pitch is a strike, and the count is 1-2. Ernst goes 5 innings, 12 hits, 9 runs, 8 earned. No walks and just 2 strikeouts. Here's a ball popped up into short right. Who's going to take it? Running a long way is the right fielder Evans to haul it in for the first down. Here's Zarlingo, who's 1 for 2.
Center fielder number 4.
I looked at the scoreboard and I saw that 81 pop up and went, I'm not sure that's right. Sure enough, it's already down to 81 degrees.
Well, it's very comfortable out here on the perch tonight. Well, I'll look at my little thermometer and see what it's at. Well, same temperature. How about that?
Yeah.
Tomorrow's supposed to be 94 and 68. Chance of rain Sunday, 50%, 87 and 70. And 82 on Monday. Hoppers, of course, be on the road Monday.
Yeah. Ball 1 outside.
Yes. 1-0 to Zarlingo. That got us on a discussion earlier. Pitches a strike 1-1. And my buddy Ben Higgins said, do you remember Bob Lobertini? We got into major discussion on this air about all the old weather guys in Nashville back in the day.
I heard a portion of that.
2-1 the count.
In between phone calls while I was on the way here, I heard a portion of that.
Yeah. Yeah, we had to have a little fun with that. Next pitch is up and into Z, 3-1. Notice the president of the first base historians has got his Crocodile Dundee hat on again tonight. We've been kidding him about his hat.
Yeah, that's a nice
William
look.
T. He got him a nice hat. Here's a foul ball back 3-2.
Yeah, those hats provide more shade.
They do. Of course, I've got my floppy hoppers hat from 2 or 3 years ago. But the problem with it is when you're broadcasting a game, it's hard to wear a headset and wear the floppy hat.
Yes, sir. I found the same thing with mowing.
Yes. Here's a 3-2 hit foul by Tim Crow at third. We'll do it again at 3-2. So it comes out on the real hot days when you're mowing or golfing or something like that. Or sitting at the beach.
Ooh, there's something I haven't done more recently.
Well, last year I was asked at the beach in Destin, here's a foul ball back, what are the Hoptown Hoppers? So I had to go through and explain the whole story. Now, whether or not the people went and looked the OVL up and all that, I don't know. But that was my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, you got to help spread the word wherever you go.
Exactly. 3-2 to count to Z with 1 out. The pitch. Breaking ball, and that's ball 4, and Zarlingo will get a 1-out walk. That'll be the first walk allowed by Kaufman. Top of the order now, and Ren Tachioka. Boy, I love to watch this young man, John.
Every time I've been here, just like he was playing right field a while ago, it's just a hustle play.
Yep.
And he seems to get a good break on the ball when he's in defense, and he'll give you all he's got.
Boy, I'll say it over and over, and it's true. He reminds you of Ichiro in every bit of his routine and mannerisms at the plate batting, and you don't want to challenge that arm now. We've already seen him throw a couple people out on plays from first to third this season.
I saw one of them here one night.
Du Bois County. Yep. 1-0 to Wren. Strike called from Kaufman, and the count evens 1-1.
And it was a laser throw that it still wasn't so high it couldn't have been cut. You know,
That's very true.
Yeah.
And it almost got cut, if you remember. 1-1. Tachioka slaps one through the right side. That's a base hit for Wren. Rounding the bag at first is Zarlingo. He's going to try to go to third, and he's in there safely. Hopper's playing a little hit and run. That works right there for him. Tachioka now 2 for 4, and here's the league's leading hitter. And Joshua Rodriguez, who's 1 for 3. Singled and scored his last time up. Has struck out and has been down swinging. Well, our good buddy Mark Salmons has checked in. He is actually at Owensboro tonight. He's over along the Ohio River. He went to see a plastic surgeon there today. And hope everything goes well where that's concerned. Here's a pitch in the dirt. And here is a run scoring to make it 9-7 as Zarlingo scores on a wild pitch. Tachioka moves to second on the play. There's apparently, from what Mark is telling me, a new plan of attack.
Okay.
So that's good news to hear.
So now he's going to have some of the best looking legs around.
Well, that might be a question we have to ask. I'm just saying right now, do tell what you know. Pitches a foul ball, 1-1 to J-Rod.
I make that comment, presuming, of course, he's listening.
Oh, I guarantee you, if he's got a way to have an ear in, and he be listening, or he's watching on Hopper's TV or both. Knowing Mark like I do. Here's a 1-1 by Kaufman of Franklin. Curveball strike, 1-2 to Joshua Rodriguez. But yep, we miss Mark around the ballpark. Hope he gets well soon. 1-2 to the plate. Curveball low, 2-2. Grandson Nixon is absent tonight, too.
Oh.
He's busy playing baseball in state tournament this weekend.
Okay.
2-2 pitch. Got him swinging. Rodriguez chases a breaking ball, 2 down.
This young man pitching, I've watched him before, and it makes my arm hurt just because of his motion, the way he whips his arm.
A lot like Kent Takovi was back in the day.
Yes.
For those of you who might remember, the Pittsburgh Pirate pitcher, or Gene Garber, who pitched for the Braves.
But he delivers the ball. But
he
still,
does.
But it's just watching it. You look at it and go, ooh.
Yeah. 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th, 9-7. Franklin leads it. Hoppers have a runner at second in Tachioka. Looking forward to tomorrow and being at Bowling Green Ballpark. I've never broadcast a game there. Always wanted to.
Well, there you go. You'll be off to you check another thing off.
Check another ballpark off the list. Yes, sir.
That's right.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to it. I hope we have a good crowd to turn out for it. The other side is it's an opportunity for these guys to go play at different ballparks.
Exactly.
That I think they're looking forward to that as well.
Well, hopefully this will be the start of something that becomes an every year event.
Correct. A couple of weeks ago we played in Marion. No, it wasn't a couple. Last Saturday we played in Marion.
I was about to ask you about that. Here's a pitch, and it's a strike 0-1.
Marion, Kentucky being one of the original 4 franchises of the Ohio Valley League. And they invited us to come back, so Owensboro played Paducah there a game.
And I assume a nice crowd.
They did. They had a very nice crowd.
0-1, swung on and missed 0-2.
And they have covered seating areas.
Right.
Down both baselines. And there were some empty seats, but I would say probably about 75-80% capacity.
That's great.
There were a few folks from Paducah. There were a few folks from Owensboro.
Here's a ball hit in the air towards center, and that ball is going to be caught out there by Slaughter, and that will end the inning.
But the overwhelming majority were folks from Marion who came out for the ball game. They used it as a fundraiser.
1 run, 1 hit, and 1 left. 5 left by the Hoppers on the scoreboard for Holiday Inn and Suites after 6, 9-7 in favor of the Franklin Duelers.
Presents itself to promote the league and what we're doing and get folks to a little interest in where we're going. Always welcome. I thank you for the opportunity.
Well, it's always great to have you tell us what's going on in the league, and hopefully we're going to have some good things in the off season to talk about, potentially another franchise.
Correct.
Or maybe 2.
Maybe 2.
Ball 1 is inside to the batter, Nate Lai, who's had a run scoring, or rather had a double and scored in the 5th and has struck out and popped out.
Have you settled yet?
We're getting there.
Okay.
The office has started as that one fouled back, but now I got a problem. I got to get a computer geek over there. The printer and the computer won't talk to each other.
Okay.
I can't print. In other words, I can't print anything. But yes, we are getting settled in the new things in Murray. Here's a ball hit down the right field line. Out of play it will go. And the count now is 1-2. But every time I drive by Johnny Reagan Field, I think, boy, wouldn't it be great to have OVL baseball on that surface? Man.
Yes, it would. I think it'd be a great addition, especially out to the west. It'd be a nice fill-in for the geography that we have.
And, you know, from what I understand, talking to some people there even now, I've had a chance to meet a few people. They tell me here's a busted back ground ball to third. It is played by Dupes. The throw to first is in time. Lai is retired for the first out, and the batter will be Robinson, who is 0 for 2, has reached on an error. From what I'm being told, it appears that the financial part of it is in place.
Correct.
You just got to find somebody to run the franchise.
Absolutely. I'm looking for that perfect guy that says, you know what, I'm kind of retired, but I'm not really wanting to quit. So he's the guy.
Piddle. Yeah.
He's the guy.
Yeah.
Or girl. I don't care. He's the person. Or she's the person. It doesn't matter as long as you have that interest.
Ball 1 is outside to the batter, Robinson. But yeah, I was driving by there the other afternoon late, and I thought, man, it'd be so cool to have Johnny Reagan Field be used in the summer, provided Murray State would go along with it, and I would think they would. The count is 1 ball and 1 string.
With all the Murray State alumni that listen to the Hoppers World,
yes,
there's got to be somebody that knows somebody who's willing to take that stick and run with it.
Absolutely. 1-1 pitch, outside 2-1.
Because it would not be that hard to make it work out.
Nope, it wouldn't.
And like I said, the community, I think, could embrace it all summer.
Strike called, and the count 2-2. Good pitch by Aaron Moss. Yeah, you know they get good support in the spring for Murray State baseball.
They do.
I went to a handful of games this spring. The 2-2 pitch. Just missed high, and the string is out at 3-2 to the batter, Moss.
Time by the batter.
Time by the batter. Yeah, now Mr. Gillette's checking in to see if I need anything. Part of the crew. I don't see his buddy down there with him tonight. Frankie G. Here's a ball fouled back. From what Mark is saying, he's now telling me they're going to put a wound pack on his wound 24/7 and will remove the bad stuff. They'll come to his home to change it out 3 times a week.
Oh.
So
Okay.
hopefully that's going to be some good, healthy stuff for him. Foul ball again.
Well, if he hadn't been playing jump rope, he probably.
That's right. And they're hoping if it heals the way the doctors think it will, Mark may not have to have another surgery. Here's a pitch, 3-2, and that's ball 4. Franklin with a 1-out base runner as Robinson goes to first. Second walk allowed by Moss. And the batter will be Mark Castle, who's had a single in 3 tries.
Well, that would certainly be good news.
Yes.
Not have another surgery.
Thank
that
goodness,
would be good news.
boy.
Batting third base, number 22,
You betcha.
Castle.
Hopper's bullpen at the moment is quiet. We're in the 7th, 9-7 in favor of Franklin. Ooh, that's still a nasty-looking wound.
Yes, sir, it is.
Very nasty.
Yeah. That's the one you don't show on the TV. You just,
No, you
just talk
don't.
about
No,
it on radio.
My friend Melanie, my girlfriend Melanie, is a nurse, ER nurse by trade. And
Okay.
we were showing it to her last night, and she says, I've seen a lot worse, but that's pretty bad. 1 ball and no strikes.
Yeah, you start dealing with trauma in ERs.
Oh, yeah.
Foul straight back.
1-1 to count now as that pitch fouled back. 9-7, Franklin leads it in the 7th inning. 1 out and 1 on for the Duelers here. Duelers the top of the South Division at 12-6. The Hoppers 8-6. They're 4th in the South right now. Moss delivers, curveball strike, and the count 1-2.
Yeah, the divisions are kind of clumped together, which of course not everyone's happy about, but I am.
Since you're the schedule maker, throw over to first in the runner back. Boy, Henderson's playing awfully good right now.
They are. They played very well all the way through the schedule. And a lot of the games that are,
Got a balk called now, and Robinson will go to second base. Don Gilmore calling the balk at first. Now Gary Vaught out of the Hopper dugout, and he's wanting well, I'm sorry. Respiratory care practitioner is Melanie, but she has been an ER nurse before. I do know that.
well, you stand corrected, right?
I stand corrected.
And you learn something. All at the same time. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, anytime you spend time in ER trauma,
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that wander in. That,
Yeah.
I know in things I've done in the past, that's the same idea. You see some awful,
Yeah.
I'll use the word interesting. Yeah, we'll call it interesting.
Interesting
things.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes you wonder how people, it's like, wow, look at that. That's pretty ghastly. And yet they're still wandering around and talking to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Human body's kind of a interesting thing.
Yes, it is. 1-2 the count to the batter, Castle, with 1 out. Runner at second. Pitch. Little bounder by the mound. Here comes J-Rod trying to barehand it. He didn't get it. And everybody's safe. Good hustle, though.
Oh,
And we'll see how that one is going to be scored. That's going to be scored an E6, I think.
really? Wow. I'm not sure he throws him out even if he comes up with it.
Well, I'm inclined to agree with you there, Mr. President.
Because that would have been an outstanding
Oh.
play if he'd have made it.
Boy, he has made some outstanding plays in the field this year. He really has. In addition to hitting the ball so well right now. That's a ball low and away, 1-0 to count. We're in the 7th inning. Franklin up 9-7, but they're trying to add a little more. One and 0 the count with 1 out. Strike called, and the count evens up 1-1. Hoppers trail by a couple, but Franklin with runners at the bookends with 1 out, trying to add to their lead of 9-7. The pitch. Breaking ball low and away, 2-1. But you know, the one thing I have noticed in Murray, you were asking a minute ago about the digs, it tends to get darker just a little bit later there than it does here.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little bit. But I will confess something. 2-1 to the plate, strike 2-2. When you're driving back late at night, when you get past Cadiz, it is eerily dark.
They do not light up the lakes.
No, and you got to watch this time of the year even for deer.
Yes.
2-2 with 1 out. Pause in the pitch. That one's all the way to the screen, and that's going to bring home a run. As it's now 10-7, as a wild pitch will bring around Robinson.
Well, you still stay in the same time zone, and you are just a few miles further west.
That's
If you get up early enough, you'll find that it gets light just a little bit later every day.
well, it does, but this time of the year, when you're in this longest day of the year stretch,
Right.
it doesn't matter to me. When you see daylight, it's like, okay, it's time to get up. 10-7 Franklin in the 7th. 2-2 the count, the pitch. And that's strike 3 called. Jenkinson strikes out for the 2nd out of the inning. And Moss with his first strikeout. We're back to the top of the order now, and Norris, who was out on a 3-2-6, 4-3 rundown play in the 4th. Singled and scored in the 3rd. And drove in a run, flied out in the 5th, popped out in the 1st. He is 1 for 4. And takes a fastball strike from Moss. It's 0-1. Don't forget tomorrow night in Bowling Green. We mentioned we'll be there for that game with Full Count Rhythm. 6:40 for Hoppers Radio. And that's a ball inside, 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Always interesting to listen to the fans' perspective
Oh.
of balls and strikes.
Yeah, the peanut galleries get going pretty good, don't they? 1-1 to count with 2 outs. Runner at second base for Franklin with a run in. Pitch is low. 2-1 the count now to Norris. 10-7, Franklin leads here in the 7th. Here's a ball hit foul, third base side.
So 17 runs on, 21 hits in the game. That's some offense.
That's some offense in this league.
And we're not running. We're in the 7th.
Yeah. Louisville trails Muhlenberg County in the top of the 5th, 5-4, or at least or in the top of the 9th now, 5-4 is the last report we get. Pitches a ball, string is out, 3-2. Du Bois County loses to Henderson 6-5 tonight.
Wow.
How about that? 3-2 pitch. skied a mile high on the infield. Who's going to take it? It will be Donaldson at second, and that will end the inning. Well, John, we appreciate you coming by and spending a little time with us here, and we'll look forward to tomorrow seeing you over in Bowling Green for all the fun and action at the Service One Credit Union Classic.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it always.
Come by and see us tomorrow.
All right, we'll do it. See
Thank
ya.
you. John Bruce, president of the OVL, as we take the stretch for Chick-fil-A. 10-7, Franklin leads it on the Holiday Inn and Suites scoreboard. Here is Havre.
Strikes you're out at the old ball game. Let's get some runs. It's all you take.
And the first pitch to Fernandez is a foul ball for strike one. Dixon, the new hurler for the Franklin Duelers. Here's a ball hit in the air toward right. It's a pop-up. Who's going to take it? The right fielder Evans will, and that's the first out. One away here in the seventh inning. Dixon, no wins or losses. Only 2 appearances. He does have 1 start on the season. 4 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 run, which was earned, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. Teams are hitting at $143 against him. So he is a new addition to Kyle Scheck-Snyder's group. Ron Brown at the plate, and he takes ball 1. One ball and no strikes. That one's going to hit Ron. And the Hoppers are going to have a 1-out base runner here in the 7th. Dixon is out of Franklin, Tennessee, and pitches at Trevecca Nazarene in Nashville. Here's Jacob Dupes, who's had a home run, fly to right and walked. Pitch is a called strike, and the count is 0-1. One strike to the hitter with 1 out. Swing and a miss, and the count is 0-2. pitches a ball, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now the next pitch, and that misses for ball 2. Trying to get the line here on Kaufman for you real quick. Here's a ball bounced on the ground to short. This could be 2, 6, 4, and 3. Franklin turns their second double play of the night, and that will end the inning as the Hoppers go quietly in the 7th. Franklin now with 14 double plays on the year. We go to the 8th on the Holiday Inn and Suites Convention Center scoreboard. Franklin 10 and the Hoppers 7.
Leading off the top of the 8th for the Duelers. Shortstop number 21, Jackson Musrock.
Musrock has grounded out, doubled and scored a run and drove in a run in the 3rd, singled and scored in the 4th, grounded to first in the 6th. (10-7), Franklin leads here in the 8th. And the first pitch from Moss is ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Now the pitch is inside, 1-1. Next pitch is a strike, and the count 2-1. Two balls, 1 strike. Now the pitch. In the dirt, and it's 3-1. Three balls, 1 strike. Here's a ball hit foul out of play. 3-2 the count. Payoff pitch forthcoming from Moss, outfield straightaway. And here's another foul ball back this way. Don't come to us. We'll do it again at 3-2. Comfortable night for a baseball game. Hasn't been too terribly hot. Here's a bouncing ball right side. Donaldson at second base on 2 hops over to Ron Brown. 1 out. 1 out batter will be Sam Slaughter. who's had an infield hit and scored, fouled out, and a 2-run homer in the 4th, and walked and was left on base in the 6th. First pitch is ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes to Sam Slaughter. And you would think Moss has probably been told by Gary Vaught, pitch carefully. As we've seen Slaughter go yard tonight already. 2-0 as the pitch misses low. Next one misses for ball 3, and the Hoppers get some activity stirring in the bullpen. Three-0 pitches ball 4. Slaughter walks on 4 pitches. Third walk allowed by Moss. And here's Jay Curtis, doubled in a run in the 1st, singled, drove in a run and scored in the 3rd, hit into an E6 in the 4th, and grounded out his last time up. First pitch by Moss, bounding ball to short. J-Rod, second one on the first, 2 for the price of 1. 7th double play turned by the Hoppers this year. J-Rod to Donaldson to Brown, and that will quash Franklin here in the 8th. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th on the Holiday Inn and Suites Convention Center scoreboard. It's still Franklin 10 and the Hoppers 7.
For you tonight.
Hoppers come to bat in the 8th, trailing 10-7 to the Franklin Duelers. Hayden, Spear, and Zarlingo, the scheduled batters. Against Dixon, third pitcher of the night used by Franklin. Hayden has flied out twice and grounded out. He's 0 for 3.
Leading off the bottom of the 8th, Hunter Hayden.
Well, the homestanders have a little work to do. Swing and a miss, strike 1. The 1-strike pitch, here it is. Check swing foul, and the count 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. Now the pitch in the dirt, and the count 1-2. Martinez went the first 4 and a third for Franklin. Kaufman pitched an inning and a third, and Dixon came on in the 7th. Faced 3 batters. Got a double play out of it. And the Hoppers did a little deja vu of that in the 8th. Swing and a miss. And Hayden is down on strikes, 1 out. Will Spear has flied to right, grounded out, and walked. First pitch hit in the air to right, but right in the neighborhood. And Evans, and he can't get it. And in at second base is going to be Spear with a 1-out double. And Zarlingo comes to the plate.
Now batting for the Hoppers, center field number 4, Anthony.
Zarlingo has singled, line to short. Oh, thank you. So I'm a whippet. Here's a ball lined the other way to left field. That's going to be a hit. At third is Spear. He's going to be held up there. Hopper sitting at first and third with the tying run. Coming up now in Ren Tachioka.
Now batting right field number 1, Ren Tachioka.
So back-to-back hits give the Hoppers 10 in the game. And here comes Tachioka. I was going to say, we got the tallest bat boy out there tonight, huh? Is that Oakley Albinson? Yeah, I think it is. In Nixon's absence. Oh, it's good pasture, I'm sorry. They're both tall, I just didn't catch the number at first. Sorry about that, fellas. 1 strike to Tachioka as a pitch on the inside part of the plate. Next pitch is a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike to Tachioka. We're in the bottom of the 8th. Franklin 10 and the Hoppers 7. We owe you a station identification break. We'll get to that here momentarily. Fastball just misses outside, 2-1. Two balls, 1 strike to Ren Tachioka. J-Rod waits on deck. Hoppers trail 10-7 in the 8th, and here's a looper base hit to right field. Spear scores to make it a 10-8 ball game. Zarlingo will stop at second. An RBI for Tachioka. He's now 3 for 5. And as J-Rod comes to the plate, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is Hoppers Radio.
Number 7, Joshua.
J-Rod has had a hit in 4 tries, has struck out twice, grounded out, had a base hit and scored back in the 5th inning. And the first pitch gets by the catcher on a pass ball. It gets away from Curtis. And runners now at second and third as Zarlingo moves to third. And Tachioka the second. They are the tying runs here in the bottom of the 8th. And a 10-8 lead for Franklin. Kyle Scheck-Snyder getting his bullpen busy down the right field line. Here's a ball hit to right. This should score a run. And it may be over the head of the right fielder. It is in for a hit. 2 runs will score. J-Rod gets a triple. And the game is tied at 10. Holy Moses. That ball didn't lack much being gone. as J-Rod triples to right. Rodriguez brings home 2. As they say, ole in Houston. And Kyle Schexnayder is on his way to the mound. And that may be the last batter for the pitcher Dixon, and it will be. Call to the bullpen. We have a break in the action on the Holiday Inn and Suites scoreboard. We're in the bottom of the 8th and a 10-all tie, the Hoppers and the Franklin Duelers. Jacob Lassiette out of Alpharetta, Georgia, and the University of North Georgia. He is the 4th pitcher of the night employed by Kyle Schexnayder in this game. Lassiat, Lassiette. And he'll come on here in the 8th inning to face Drew Donaldson. See if we can find some numbers on him. 4.50 ERA, 6th appearance, all in relief, no wins or losses, no starts. But he does have 4 saves, 8 innings pitched, 6 hits, 4 runs, all earned, 3 walks, 12 strikeouts. Teams are just above the Mendoza line at 207 against him.
Batting for the Hoppers, second baseman number 15, Drew.
All right, Drew Donaldson now has had a double to bring in a run and scored. Has walked and flied out twice. He is 1 for 3. 10-10 as we play in the bottom of the 8th. Lassiette, the 4th pitcher of the night for the Duelers. And here's a pitch that gets away. And safe, and the Hoppers take the lead. J-Rod scoring from 3rd on a wild pitch. Holy Moses. What a comeback. Hoppers scoring 4 times in the inning and lead 11-10. Well, this is going to be another one of them big football scoring games, don't you think? What was it, 2 nights ago in Owensboro? It was 16-14 Owensboro. And the Hoppers have fought back. At one time, they were down 8-2. Scored 4 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th. They've scored 4 here in the 8th. 1-1 as the next pitch was a strike to Donaldson. 1 out, nobody on. Drew takes a fastball low, ball 2, 2-1. Next pitch is ball 3. Three balls, 1 strike. The pitch fouled back and the string is out at 3-2. You can close the line on Dixon, an inning and a third in this game. 4 hits, 4 runs, all earned. And Donaldson hits one deep in the hole and booted by the shortstop. That'll be the 21st error of the year for Franklin as Musrock boots it. Freddie Fernandez comes to the plate now. Fernandez has singled and scored, walked, struck out, and flied to right. Swing and a miss. He was going for a big one there. Strike one. Hoppers lead 11-10 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Franklin will have Evans, Lai, and Robinson due up in the 9th. The pitch. Strike called, and the count is 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out. The pause, the pitch, tight a ball, and the count now is 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. Now the pitch, strike 3 called at the knees. Fernandez is out. Two outs in the inning. The first strikeout of the night for Lassiette. And here's Ron Brown, who's had a 2-run homer, has been hit by a pitch, has lined to first and struck out. He's 1 for 3. Lassiette delivers, and Brown hits a chopper, fielded by the shortstop. Nice play at first base as Musrock throws out Brown to end the inning. But the Hoppers take the lead here in the 8th. 4 runs. They do it on 4 hits, 1 Franklin error, and 1 runner left. The Hoppers have stranded 6. Last call, y'all, as we go to the 9th. It is the Hoppers 11 and Franklin 10. The University of Indianapolis. He had a little rough go of it, if you remember, a couple of games ago. Sargent, 1 win, 2 losses, 8th appearance, 12.27 ERA, 7 1/3 innings, 10 hits, 10 runs all earned, has walked 9, struck out 10. Teams are hitting at .333 against him. But the Hoppers have the 1-run lead as we go to the 9th, 11-10. Moss goes 3 innings in this game. 1 hit, 1 run, which was earned. He walked 3 rather, and struck out 1. So here's Evans, who's had a run-scoring double, and he would later score himself back in the 3rd, has struck out, hit into a fielder's choice, and fly to right. We've not heard an attendance figure tonight, but a nice crowd's been on hand. Here's a pitch inside in the dirt, ball one. 1 ball and no strikes. Nope, not even on Game Changer have they put the attendance yet. 1 ball, no strikes, no outs. 11-10 Hoppers in the 9th. Hoppers rallied to come back and take the lead in the 8th. The pitch, swing and a miss. Evans was going for the downs there and came up empty. 1 ball and 1 strike. One and one, nobody out. Hoppers have been out hit by the Duelers in this game. Actually, it's 12-12, I believe. 2 and 1 as the pitch misses low. Two balls, 1 strike. Sargent behind Moss, who went 3 innings, 1 run, earned on 1 hit, 1 strikeout, 3 walks. Starter was David Ernst, and that pitches a ball. It's 3 and 1. So Sargent in danger of putting the tying run Evans on base, with Lai waiting in the on-deck circle. And Gary Vaught wasting no time. He's coming to the mound right now. Nobody throwing in the bullpen, so I would say Coach Vaught's got a thing or two on his mind when he gets there. To quote my friend Michael J. Felton, little dogology, and that's what it looks like. I'm sure Coach Vaught got his point across. This, no doubt. 3 and 1 the count to the batter for Franklin Jonathan Evans here leading off the 9th. Sargent out of a stretch. The right-hander deals, and that's ball 4. So the tying run is aboard for the Duelers here in the 9th, and here is Nate Lai, who has struck out, popped out. He has also doubled and scored and grounded out. But I think we're getting a pinch hitter here. Did I hear Scott right? Maybe I didn't. First pitch is a called strike to Lai, and the count is 0-1. One strike to the hitter. Evans at first base. Sargent working from the stretch. The right-hander deals. Just outside, 1-1. It's a pretty good pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count, nobody out. Franklin trails 11-10 here in the 9th. Now the stretch by Sargent. Checking the pitch. That's a curve. It's all the way to the backstop. And the wild pitch will move Evans to second. So now your tying run sitting 2 bases away. And Ron Brown shouting some encouragement to his pitcher as the count now 2-1. Two balls, 1 strike. Pause in the pitch. That's in the dirt. And guess what? On 2 wild pitches, Evans is at third base. Well, Mr. Martin has graced us with his presence. I'm all right, buddy. Just hoping this run don't come in and tie things up. 11-10. Hoppers leading the 9th, but the tying run is at third. Infield is drawn in. Nobody out. 3-1, the count to the batter. And that's a busted bat. Sounded like foul ball. Yeah, that Lie threw that bat to the dugout all mad because he busted it. Now he's got to get a new piece of lumber. That's unlike the aluminum bats that they use in college. Three and two the count. Moss delivers some baseballs to the plate umpire, Rick Erickson. 3-2 the count to Nate Lai. Tying run at third in Evans. He's walked and got there on 2 wild pitches. 11-10, Hoppers in the ninth. Drawn in infield. Sargent stretches. He kicks and delivers. That pitch is tight. And that is going to send Lai to first base. And Gary Vaught's going to come to the mound.
That's a swing. I think it's a swing. He opened up into it.
Well, now the question is, did Lai swing? And Gary Vaught is asking all 3 umpires, and nobody seems to want to hear his opinion. And now you got first and third occupied with nobody out. And here's Rashad Robinson, who's flied out, reached on an error, grounded out, walked and scored in the 7th. Tying run is at third, and Evans. Lai, the go-ahead run for Franklin at first in the 9th. In an 11-10 Hoppers lead. And Gary Vaught just got ejected by Don Gilmore. And now he's going to come out and get his 5 cents worth in. Coach Vaught is madder than a hornet in a hat box. And he's still jawing to Gilmore from home plate, even though he's out there with the plate umpire, Rick Erickson. And Rick's now getting the earful. All 3 of them are getting an earful. And now the game is being played under a protest. This could be fun. Well, it's 11-10 Hoppers in the 9th. And here is Rodriguez. Hoppers have a drawn-in infield. Vaught is not happy. That's the understatement. Ball 1 as that pitch misses to Robinson. I say he's had enough. Here's a pitch low and a nice stop. Two and 0, the count to the batter, Robinson. So the game being played under protest because Coach Vaught not happy with that call of ball 4 to the batter, Lai, who's at first. Pitch is a dirt. And the count is 3-0. And you got some Hopper fans that are now getting a little irritated. .30 pitches, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. Wow. So Tim Crow has taken over the coaching duties. And he walks to the plate and asks Erickson for time. And he's going to go talk to the pitcher. Sargent struggling to find the strike zone. Let's just call it like it is, and we're going to get a new pitcher. So we have a break in the action here in the 9th inning. Call to the bullpen coming for the Hoppers. 11-10 in favor of Franklin, but they have the tying and go-ahead runs on base. On the Holiday Inn and Suites Convention Center scoreboard, we are in the top of the 9th inning with the score. Hoppers 11, Franklin 10.
No matter what you've been through, all clean to the rescue.
Hupp is out of Owensville, Indiana, and Spalding University in Louisville as he comes on the pitcher in the 9th. Mark Castle, the batter, has popped up, grounded out, singled, reached on an error by Rodriguez. Infield drawn in again with the bases loaded, and nobody out here in the 9th. Hupp delivers, foul ball out of play, strike one. Hoppers 11, Franklin 10, with Messrs. Evans, Lai, and Robinson on base. The tying and go-ahead runs for the Duelers, the leaders of the South Division. Foul ball, and the count 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, and nobody out. Now the stretch by Hupp. Here it is. And that's a lazy fly ball lifted in the left center. And it will be caught. Run scores. Actually, it's a base hit, beg your pardon. And it's an 11-11 tie. Coming home is Evans. Lai to third. Robinson to second. And that's a base hit for Castle and a run batted in. 11-11 as we play here in the 9th. And the first pitch is ball 1 to the batter Jenkinson, who's doubled and scored, flied out twice and struck out. Honestly thought the ball was caught. And that's those new eyes. Got them adjusted, but they're still not quite right. Swing and a miss, and the count evens 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody out. (11-11) in the 9th. Bases are full. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Jenkinson chased a high ball. And it's 1-2. Norris waits on deck for Franklin. As Hupp trying to pitch out of a pickle here in the ninth. The 1-2 pitch. Grounded to third. And they'll come home. And out there they get the force. "5-2 on the force play of Live for the first out. To third goes Robinson. Second is Castle. Jenkinson
Jackson Norris.
aboard on a fielder's choice, and here is Jackson Norris, who is 1 for 5 in the game with an RBI single, and he scored in the third inning. 11-11 the score. Franklin with 2 hits in the inning. They have 13 on the night by our tally. Pitch by Hupp. Inside, ball 1. Peanut Gallery not enthused about that call. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out. The pitch. Low for a ball, and the count 2-0. Two balls, no strikes, 1 out. Now the pitch. Foul. First base side. The count 2-1. Cody Hupp, the 4th Hopper pitcher of the night, in an 11-11 tie. Now we've got the Franklin batter Norris, who's down. He tells the coaching staff on that side, and even Kyle Schexnayder, when he comes to the plate, that he's okay. And he wants to stay in the ball game. Two and 1. The count to the batter Norris. The pitch by Hupp. Ball 3 is low. 3 balls, 1 strike. Now a 3-1. That one's going to get off the catcher. It's ball 4 anyway as a run scores to make it 12-11. Robinson comes around to score.
It's better for the Duelers. Shortstop. Number 21, Jackson.
So Franklin with a 1-run lead with the bases loaded, and here is Musrock with 1 out.
At the concession stand, sweet tea half price.
I could take another one of those sweet teas about right now.
Half price. Get you a cup of iced sweet tea.
Yes, sir. Twelve to 11 Franklin. Castle third. Jenkinson second. Norris at first. Well, the Hoppers have played 3 one-run games this year. They're 2-1. Franklin has played 2 one-run games. They're 2-0. Hupp ready with the next. Ball 1 is low.
Bench runner for the Duelers is Jared Grins.
1-0 pitch is low, 2-0. And the Hopper pitchers can't find the strike zone right now. Two balls and no strikes. Now the pitch by Hupp. Swing and a miss. Good off-speed pitch. It's 2-1. Two balls and a strike. Outside, ball 3. Dodgers beat Atlanta tonight 4-1. Final score in that game. Here it's 12-11 Franklin in the top of the ninth over the Hoppers. The pitch. Ball 4, and that walks in another run. Second walk for Hupp. Because Curtis is a right-hand batter. This is Slaughter in front of him, a left-hand batter. 8th man to bat in the inning for Franklin. The pitch. Strike called and the count 0-1. One strike, one out. But Franklin has scored twice in the inning, or 3 times in the inning, and they lead here now 13-11. Swing and a miss, and the count is 0-2. Jenkinson third. Norris second. Must rock at first. Hupp working from the stretch. The left-hander deals. Strike 3 call. Final and out in the 9th inning. Curtis now the 9th man to bat in the frame. Has hit into a double play, grounded out, fielder's choice, and was forced out, singled and scored in the 3rd, and brought in a run, doubled and brought in a run in the 1st. The first place Duelers in the South Division have the 13-11 lead here in the 9th. Ball 1 is inside. 1 ball and no strikes. One ball, no strikes. That's 2 outs in the inning, not 1. I think I misspoke a moment ago. 2 down in the inning, 1-1 the count. That's E on me. One and one the count with 2 outs. The pitch. Strike 2 call. Well, Hupp is a strike away from finishing off the Duelers here in the 9th. But the good guys will have work to do with Dupes, Hayden, and Spear due up in the bottom of the 9th. The stretch by Hupp, now time called. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The pitch, here it is. Foul left side. Out of play. 1-2 the count. One and two the count. Here's the pitch by Hupp. That one's going to get off the glove of Spear, and there's no chance for a play. He doesn't get to it quick enough. And it's now 14-11. And everybody moves up a base on a pass ball. And boy, just when you thought things were going to be right for the Hoppers, they made the comeback, took the lead, and now they've imploded here in the ninth. Here's a ball hit to center, and it's going to fall in front of Zarlingo for a hit. 2 runs are going to score, and it's now 16-11 Franklin. RBI single for Curtis to center brings home 2. And the Duelers have officially batted around. Evans started all this reaching on a walk. 2 wild pitches got him to third, and he would eventually score. (16-11) Franklin here in the ninth. The pitch. That's in the dirt. Holy Moses. Don't know how many wild pitches and pass balls that's been in this inning, but boy, there have been a bunch. 1-0, the count to the batter, Evans. Tenth man to bat in this ninth inning. And now he's hit by a pitch. And Evans will go to first. Tim Crow will come out of the dugout to question the call of Rick Erickson. Well, Gary Vaught's already been tossed out tonight. And the game, as we told you earlier, being played under protest. Here's Lai. Walked earlier in the inning and was out on a fielder's choice. Doubled and scored, has struck out, popped out, and grounded out. Hupp delivers. Strike 1 called. 1 strike with 2 outs in the inning. Strike 1 pitch, strike 2 called. And the count 0-2 with 2 outs. Again, Hoppers will have Dupes, Hayden, and Spear up in the bottom of the ninth. Pitch is low and inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The protest is because of a ball strike call earlier in the ninth inning. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Lai is out, and so are the Duelers, but they score 6 times in the inning. And on the Holiday Inn and Suite scoreboard, we go to the bottom of the ninth. Lots of work to do for the homestanders as Franklin leads the Hoppers 16-11. Had a 2-run homer in the second. Has flied to right, hit into a double play, and has walked 1 for 3. And Dupe sends one to the right side. Bouncing ball to the second baseman, Jenkinson. Over to Lai, 1 out. Hunter Hayden has flied out to left twice, grounded out and struck out 0 for 4. Hayden, right-hand batter, steps in. The pitch. Up and in, ball 1. Here's a ball. Hit into left, and it's an out.
Now batting for the Hoppers, catcher number 12, Will Spear.
2 down, it'll be up to Will Spear. Spear doubled and scored a run in the 8th. Has flied to right, grounded out and walked. Franklin 16 and the Hoppers 11. Hoppers let a 1-run lead in the 9th evaporate as Franklin scored 6 times in the frame. Ball 1 is low. 1 ball and no strikes. Foul ball, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs in the 9th. Spear represents the last hope for the Hoppers. 1-2 as that one fouled out of play. And the next pitch is strike 3 called. Actually a swinging third strike. And Franklin